Let's talk about the Yamaha R15. For so many riders, this bike is the first real taste of what a true sport bike feels like. And yeah, it's got the looks, it's got the incredible handling, but what makes it a legend? It isn't just what you see on the surface. Nope, it's a piece of hidden engineering genius. And to really get what makes this bike tick, we kind of have to think like an engineer.
And it's such a powerful dream, isn't it? You know, the idea of a purpose-built, razor-sharp machine. It's about so much more than just getting from A to B. It's about the feeling, the focus, the absolute thrill of it. And for so many people, that dream has a very specific shape.
I mean, just look at it. You see those aggressive lines, the aerodynamic fairings, that committed riding position? It all just screams performance. But the R15's real secret weapon, the tech that gives it such a unique character, is tucked away deep inside its little 155cc engine.
Now, to really appreciate just how clever that engine is, we first have to understand a really fundamental problem that engineers have wrestled with for decades, especially when it comes to smaller, single-cylinder motors just like this one.
It's the classic trade-off. Do you design an engine for low-end torque, making it responsive and super easy to manage in city traffic, or do you design it for high-end horsepower, letting it just scream its lungs out on a racetrack? Traditionally, you had to pick one. You just couldn't have both. Or could you?
Well, this is where Yamaha's engineers basically said, nope, we're not going to compromise. They developed this brilliant solution to give a rider the best of both worlds, and they gave it a name, VVA. So, what in the world is variable valve actuation? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like giving the engine two different personalities. It's a super clever system that physically changes how the engine's valves operate, optimizing them for whatever speed you're at. So the engine essentially has two different sets of instructions. Below 7,400 RPM, it's running on a gentler cam profile. This gives you that smooth, predictable torque you want for navigating traffic or just pulling away cleanly from a stop. But once you rev past that magic number, man, everything changes. Right at that 7,400 RPM mark, a tiny electronic pin, it's called a solenoid, it just clicks into place. And that instantly engages a second, much more aggressive cam profile. This new profile holds the valves open longer and lifts them higher, which lets the engine take a deeper breath and really unleash its maximum horsepower. It is exactly like a sprinter kicking into their final gear. And look, this tech isn't just some marketing gimmick. It's a genuine piece of innovation. It's so well engineered, in fact, that it's now being used as a teaching tool for the next generation of mechanics. This here is from an Android app for vocational students, breaking down exactly how VVA works. I mean, when your tech becomes the textbook, you know you've created something pretty significant.
Okay, so that's the theory. But what does a dual-personality engine actually feel like when the rubber meets the road? Let's take a look at what happens when all that engineering is really put to the test.
And this is the result of that high RPM cam working its magic. In a road test that a fan uploaded, the R15 V4 was clocked at an incredible 151 kilometers per hour. Now, for a 155cc machine, that is absolutely flying, and it's a direct payoff of the VVA's high power mode.
But hold on, top speed doesn't tell the whole story. In a drag race against a bigger competitor like the KTM RC200, the R15 is actually almost 2 seconds slower to 100 kph. The KTM's larger engine just produces more raw grunt right off the line. But this is where the VVA's other personality becomes so important.
And see, that's the whole point. Just like Autocar India says here, the R15 isn't just about that final high RPM rush. The VVA system makes the bike incredibly usable and efficient at lower speeds, spreading the power exactly where you need it. It makes all that performance accessible. It's not just fast, it's smart. And you know what? Yamaha didn't just stop with that brilliant engine. They wrapped this mechanical innovation in a whole suite of modern electronics that, honestly, you'd normally expect to find on a much larger, much more expensive motorcycle. I mean, just take a look at this feature set. Traction control, an upshift quick shifter for those seamless gear changes, dual-channel ABS, smartphone connectivity, and even different riding modes for the track and the street. This is way more than just an entry-level bike. This is a complete, modern performance package.
So when you put it all together, the dual-personality engine, the advanced electronics, the razor-sharp chassis, you end up with a motorcycle that knows exactly what it wants to be. It has a very clear and focused mission.
This quote from Bike Deco just
It absolutely nails it. The R15 isn't trying to be some comfortable, do-it-all machine. It's a dedicated sport bike, built for a rider who craves feedback, precision, and that pure, unadulterated thrill of performance. And that really brings us to the ultimate choice. The R15 V4 is the sharp tool in the toolbox. It's an incredibly rewarding machine for a rider who just lives for the corners. Its rival, the KTM RC200, well, it's faster in a straight line and a bit more versatile for day-to-day life. The R15 demands more from its rider, but in return, it offers a more focused, more intense experience.
So it kind of leaves us with this final thought. When you're chasing that sport bike dream, what do you really value more? The uncompromising, specialized machine that excels at one thing brilliantly, or the versatile all-rounder that can do a little bit of everything pretty well? The answer, well, it says a lot about the kind of rider you truly want to be.